guys! It's your boy Liam Carlson here. Yes, it's episode 15 of season 7 of Charmed. We're nearing the ending of this season, so yeah. And of course, we're still just beginning season 8 of Charmed on my Patreon. I've just done episode 6 of season 8. Well, I say I've just done, it was a few hours ago in terms of a recording perspective, but anyways, it's not about that episode, it's about Ghouls. Yeah. Again, another recognisable face that popped up in this episode, of course, for those who remember my iZombie reactions and whatnot. So, yeah, but, yes, episode 15, season 7, the link for my reaction, of course, down below in the description, as well as in the pinned comment, where also in the pinned comment is, like last week, my poll to determine what show will replace Charmed once I am done. So go ahead if you haven't voted already. It's, like I said, still a long time to vote until like February 2025, if anything, just to make a reference, just in case you're watching this in 2025, 2026, who knows. But yes, leave your thoughts as always in the comments below. Give the algorithm a bit of a kick in the backside. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this reaction, as well as this episode, of course. And yeah, until the next time, toodles. So yeah, I mean, very interesting idea, of course, when it came to, I guess, this kind of spiritual time loop that we had. Because I found it very, very interesting. Obviously, you had all of these souls who have just, who just want that freedom, etc. And them having to go through that time loop scenario, basically, it's just really, I mean, especially when it comes to time loop scenarios, it can be very, very daunting. But when you're a soul having to go through that whole situation, yeah. So, and it was just very, very interesting going into, you know, the whole Count's deal. About how that deal was made by Zargon. Now, I know that Charmed once did make a mention about the fact that they faced Zargon, like, what was it, 5 years ago, but I don't recall that name, so it might have been an off-screen vanquishing or whatever, so, yeah, but, still, that whole deal with, I guess you could say, with, the Count and how, you know, he just got so for these hundreds of years and all of that, he got his jollies by seeing the fright, and then the thing is, they're not going to remember the fright that went down with all of these souls having to go through that scenario. It's just crazy. So, but again, it was just very, very interesting to see. This whole spiritual, like, time loop scenario that we went through, because of the fact that it is going to be a more daunting prospect than, like I said, you're just, I guess, standard time loops and all of that. So, yeah, even though it kind of works in the same mechanics, it's more like, you know, there's more of a supernatural element to things, isn't there? They've already died and all of that, so, yeah, and the only one who's really aware is the person who's instigating this, of course. So, yeah, but yeah, you'd think. Well, I guess George kind of did become the outlier, but I was gonna say you'd think someone would have cracked, but I like I said, I think George was the one. He was the one that managed to escape, take possession of Mike. Mike just happened to be there, and of course he had to be the leeway to, you know, summon something was up when it came to you know, Phoebe and Drake, I guess, dealing with this whole situation. So yeah, whereas Paige was pretending to be Phoebe, and yeah, Piper. I am glad that Piper was able to suss out that Drake wasn't Drake when the Count took his body. So yeah. Because, yeah, even though, like, what's funny is there have been occasions where possessions have taken place and all of that when it comes to members of the Charmed One, and it's taken them longer to figure out. But you have barely known Drake for, well, you've known Drake barely, I guess you could say, because obviously he's going to be closer to, I guess, Phoebe and Paige, really, if he's working at Magic School. But you've barely known him a week, and you're able to figure out the mannerisms and all of that, so... Yeah, but still, it was really, really great that Piper was able to find out that the Count was possessing the body. So yeah, but yeah, it was just a very, very nifty episode. Nothing too great, nothing too grandiose, but it was, like I said, just a very, very interesting scenario. Just dealing with these lost souls. And yeah, basically there was this essence of time travel within a time loop, in a sense. That's it though. Like, you're technically time traveling, but you're in this kind of time loop that's ongoing. That's been going on for like over 100 years, and yeah, it's just it was just very, very great stuff to see. It was a great date for, I guess you could say, for Phoebe and Drake, which got them to, help some souls and all of that. So, yeah. And it was giving me part of my past vibes, I felt. I don't know. It was just taking me back there. So, yeah, but... yeah, it was just very, very... it was just very, very... I guess, fun stuff to go through. Like I said, nothing too grandiose and all of that, but it had that very interesting element going for it, where you got you got that time loop scenario, you got all of these people who have already died and they're already going through this whole shebang all over again. But in the center of it, there is a very, very great element of these characters making the most of their lives, really, because of the fact that Drake now has a week left to go. And honestly, though, like I said, I thought, if anything, even if there was nothing you can do, it's all about desperation, isn't it? It's like whenever someone is it is like when someone is fated to die. You obviously, sometimes there are moments in a story where characters will go above and beyond to try and preserve that character from their fated from their fate, from destiny. So, and yeah, I thought we were going to go for that with this episode, considering the Drake bombshell happened at the end of the last episode. Not just that though, but obviously we saw the Count take Drake's body, and I thought, okay, well, there's not going to be nothing we can do, really, is there? And we know that Drake ain't sticking around until the end of the season, so what if Drake does die in this fire and all of that? And yeah, he dies a bit more prematurely than he was going to originally do so. So but yeah, I mean, it is going to be sad to see Drake go. Again, he was very charismatic, should I say. He was, and it was just very, very interesting, just to see him and Phoebe just evolve as a couple. So, and I do want them to be long-term. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. But the more you see them together, the more you think, okay, well, this could work and all of that. So, and there is a sense of irony, of course, when it comes to Phoebe and Cole and all of that, and how I feel like that is the more that relationship stands out a bit more, doesn't it, in terms of Phoebe's interests. And of course, he was someone who was a demon, who grafted into that humanity. And you've got someone who's an ex-demon, who has got a hold of that humanity. Except for the fact is that demonic past is gone. It's gone. and you know, he's just a real charmer and all of that, and he just wants to embrace life and all and whatnot. And you can really, I mean, it wasn't just the fact that, you know, it was mentioned in the last episode, but you even see him right now. He's not making he's not living in the sad prospect in regards to, well, he only has a week left to go before that's all, folks. That's curtains for him. I guess you could say with this episode, right? But he's just embracing life. And again, it really plays onto, I think, the core theme of this episode, where you've got characters just making the most of their lives, really. Whether you've got an ominous fate looming in the background, not just, of course, for Drake, but also Leo as well. We'll get onto that in a moment. But also, if you're not able to live, I guess. So yeah, I know Paige was adamant on, you know, taking the reins of Magic School a season ago, but it's really consuming, and it's that case of wanting to get out there. So she gets to step in Phoebe's shoes, I guess. I've forgotten the word that Piper used in regards to the shoes, the Italian saying for shoes. Hang on. Italian word for shoes. Is it that? I don't know. I'm getting different things here. Anyways, no, it was just very, you know, funny, because you could tell that wasn't, like, even if you were just landed in the middle of the episode or whatever, like, you just skipped parts of the episode, you could tell that wasn't going to be Phoebe when Paige took on, when took on the glamour. So yeah, but she took a step into her shoes, and yeah, so it was just very interesting stuff to see when it came to her trying to embrace life a bit more outside of Magic School. And oddly enough, getting a hang of it, because I thought, oh, this is going to be a disaster, and it was looking like to be a bit of a disaster, but apparently Paige aced it as Phoebe, so yeah. And then there is, of course, Piper, who with Leo, Wyatt, and Chris, they decide to embrace life a bit more. And of course, there is this whole doom and gloom prospect for Leo, wasn't there? Because of the fact that his fate with the Elders are, well, TBC, aren't they? Or TBD, isn't it? To be determined. TBC is to be continued. But yeah, it's not, in Leo's mind, it's not looking good, and it's all about that living for the moment, isn't it? Just like with Drake and his upcoming demise, it's living for the moment, and they get to go to Italy and all of that. I do love the like when they were prepping to go to Italy and all of that, and I'm just thinking back to when Piper was in line and all of that, getting passports and wanted to live that normality in a sense, rather than, you know, taking the most efficient option and orb, right? I just loved getting flashbacks to that moment. And now Piper's like, like she's advocating, because it is efficient, isn't it? So yeah, but yeah, it was just really great stuff when it came to Piper. I mean, I know they didn't have too much of an involvement, but given the ongoing TBD situation with Leo and the Elders, it was really great to have that focus on him. Just like having, well, now deciding to, you know, embrace everything that is going on at the minute. And yeah, so, and it's just really nice to see Piper and Leo in a really great place. But of course, there is that tension in the air that is definitely going to drop like a brick within the coming episodes. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, fun stuff. Nothing too grandiose, but it was very fun stuff this episode. So yeah, until then, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!